Hey guys, so this is our lower back mobility class. You're going to start off kneeling down and sitting back onto your heels. Try to get a bit of a stretch into the quads. From there, we're going to curl our way down to the floor onto our forearms with an exhale. So it's going to look like this. Once we're here, we're going to take 4 breaths, calm in through the nose and long out through the mouth. So calm inhale, long exhale. So by long exhale, I mean the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. Calm inhale, I want you to feel the stretch in your lower back when you inhale. Long exhale. Keep exhaling. The exhale will set you up for the stretch on the inhale. So when you're exhaling, try and pull your ribs away from your thighs. Let's try again. Calm inhale. Long exhale, pull the ribs away from the thighs. Hold that position, breathe in. And you should get a stretch into the lower back. Come back up from that position. And you're going to go to all fours there. So I want you to dig your toes in. Knees are under hips. Hand is under my shoulder. From that position, without tucking under or going the other way too much, I want you to hold this neutral position. So try and find a flat piece around here. And you're going to sit back towards your heels, trying to keep that neutral position all the way as you sit back. And then come forward, push into the floor to come forward. So try not to sag into this position. We're going to go for 6 of those, okay? 1, sitting back, I'm trying to fold at the front of my hip and not let my hips tuck under and my belly relax. Okay? 2, sitting back, trying to touch my sit bones off of my heels. Slow down when you get deeper into hip flexion and try to feel that movement. 3, push yourself back. Think about filling the back of your pants or your shorts with your glutes as much as possible. Forward again, push into the floor, sitting back, try not to tuck under. 5, and last one, sitting all the way back, try not to tuck under. And 6. After that, you're going to stay into this position, and now I do want you to tuck your pelvis. So what you want to do is think about your waistband. Pelvis will be slightly underneath that if that's pulled up a little bit, and we're going to practice just tucking that. So push your hands into the floor to create some space between your shoulder blades, and I want you to roll your pelvis forward, and then that should create an arch in your lower back. And then you want to do the opposite. You want to tuck your pelvis under. So don't just drive into the floor like that. Try and think about pulling up a zipper in the front, and everything is pulling up that way. You use your abs to do that, so you should feel your abs crunch. And then after that, you're going to untuck. And again, we're just going to go for 6 of these. Don't force the range, just go in and out of it. I don't want you to force any of these movements. Nice and slow and controlled. All the way to a tuck. Feel your abs crunch. And then let your abs go. Always pushed away from the floor. We're just trying to isolate the pelvis here. If you feel any pain in this position, stop before the pain comes and start tucking under again. And get all the way under until you feel that ab crunch. And then if you feel pain in this position, the same thing, stop before that pain kicks in on the next rep and try to get more range going this way. 6 of those. After that then, I want you staying in this position, and you're going to lift one hand up and reach it under. But as you do this, I want you to give a big exhale. So I want you to exhale your ribs down and in as I'm reaching. So that exhale should give you a bit more range and really let your obliques settle into this. Trying to get my shoulder onto the ground, and then I'm coming back out and I'm reaching up. Exhale as well. So breathe in when you get to the middle. Let that exhale assist you in that reach. Breathe in. Exhale. And I'm pushing into the floor as I'm reaching as high as I can, and I'm not forcing any of these ranges. If you can only go through here, with an exhale you start to feel a bit of pain or a bit of tightness, just stop. Come out of it nice and slowly. And if you can only go to here, that's fine. Try and move your chest on its own and reach as far as you can away from you with an exhale. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and we're going to swap sides just to show you on the other side. So stay in that all fours position, nice and controlled. Dropping the shoulder to the ground, try and get as far as you can. My right hip is getting a stretch here as well. And as I come back out, I'm trying to bring my chest towards you guys, reach my hand for the ceiling, push into the floor to create as much length from this hand to this hand as I can. Drop this shoulder. Again, if you can't and you can only get to here, just try and reach as much as you can and exhale. A couple of inches extra will get you way more of a stretch than not trying to go at all. Big reach up, trying to get that chest to open up. Exhale and reach, trying to drop that shoulder as much as you can. So you should have got 4 on each side with that. After that, we're going to go for some back extensions, okay? So we're going to relax our hips onto the floor. See the way I'm supporting myself with my arms? I haven't fully lied down. I'm supporting myself on the forearms here like this, keeping my chin slightly tucked. I'm not going to lead with my head. I'm going to lead with my upper back and push into the ground and try and lift up. Make sure my pelvis stays into the floor. That doesn't come up with me either. I'm just really trying to pull myself forward rather than lift myself up. So elbows down, pulling back, proud chest, not lifting with the head, keeping the chin tucked. Holding that position. Breathe in. Give an exhale and try see if you can feel a stretch in your tummy. Breathe in. Exhale, we're aiming for a stretch in the tummy. If you feel your lower back with this too much, come down a little bit more. Relax your glutes as well. Your glutes might be really fired off in this position. Try and relax them. Hold here, pull yourself forward. So I'm pulling this mat back, I'm pulling myself forward, holding that position. Breathe in. Exhale. So we've 3 of those breaths done. After that, we're going to go for reps. Forehead off the ground. Lifting the back of my head up, using my back muscles, squeezing my shoulder blades down and together, and then relaxing back down slowly, tipping, let everything relax, pulling the mat or the floor back, squeezing my shoulder blades together, lifting myself up with my back muscles, coming back down. So think about the timing with this. When I push, I should get some arms and pecs helping me. I squeeze my shoulder blades together to bring my back muscles into it to help pull me up, take the pressure off the back, and I'm trying to let my glutes relax. And then come back down. One more. Pull the mat back, push into the mat, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and lift up as high as you can from there, and then back down. After that, we're onto our back. Onto our sides after that. Knees together and up at a 90-degree angle. And I'm in line with the mat. So my hips and my knees are at 90 degrees. Hands are together. And from here, we're going to reach up as high as we can and try and let our body roll to the floor. So I'm trying to get my shoulders down either side. You might feel a big stretch in your pec here. If that's the case, just bend your elbow. That should take the stretch away. And we're trying to open out all of our sides here and come back over together like that as well. One thing I want you to focus on with this, if you look at my knees, right, you might be able to see it from that angle, but just look here. When I roll back, my left knee, my top knee will come away, as in come away from the kneecap of my bottom knee, not up like this, but back and away. Now I want you to encourage that. I want that knee to come away as you roll over, and then when you come back, that knee will go forward, and you can do a bit of a reach as well like this. I don't want you to fully go over, but a small reach, so this hand is in front of this hand, and then when I come back, reaching over, I feel a massive stretch in my pec. I don't want that too much to take away from what I'm trying to do, which is get my rib cage away from my pelvis and rotate it away. So I want my shoulders to come down, and I want my hip to go back as well. And you'll know that by your knee going back. Okay, once you've done 4 of those, we're going to kick the bottom knee backwards, so it's just the top knee on its own in front, and my bottom knee is pointing straight down away from me and still bent. And in that position, we're going to come over again with a reach over, trying to get my chest to the ceiling. I'm going to hang out here, and I'm going to feel a lovely stretch in the back of my pelvis coming around the hip here like this. Okay, if you can't feel that, you want to like roll your hips back a little bit more so one hip is directly on top of the other, and give some breaths in this position. Calm inhales, big exhales. You might get some really nice back cracking in this position. Calm inhale, big exhale. Trying to let your opposite shoulder settle to the floor and trying to maintain that hold of a stretch in the glute on that top side. So from the other side, again, remember we're lying on our side with this. So knees are bent up, feet are pointed straight down, so I'm at a 90 degree angle. I lie down with my hands together, and then from here, we're going to reach up and over, trying to let my right shoulder relax onto the floor here. Again, if your pec is feeling a massive stretch, you're going to bend the elbow and try and let that relax down. Okay, from there, you can just reach back over and a bit of a reach. We're doing 4 of these. 2, reaching over, trying to reach past my hand, reaching up for the ceiling. I want to get my chest to point up at that ceiling, my sternum pointing straight up at the ceiling, so this shoulder relaxes down to the floor. And I'm going to come over again, reach, trying to get some nice rotation all through my torso as I come back down. And remember, let this top knee come away from the bottom knee, and then when you roll back over, push that knee forward. So I'm getting a nice pelvic roll here as well as I come forward and back. But don't let those knees come fully relaxed away from that. Keep the knees together, just they're sliding forward and back. After that, remember you're kicking this bottom leg back. It's just the top leg that's bent at 90 now. My bottom knee is pointed down away from me. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rotate over. It's going to be a bit harder to do this, but I should get a lovely stretch all the way up the back of my pelvis and the side of my hip coming up through here. In that position, I'm going to hold and I'm going to take some breaths. That long exhale, you should feel this shoulder relax down to the floor a lot better. Calm on the inhale. Long exhale, you're trying to relax tension where you really feel it. So if you're holding on with this adductor here, it's holding your leg up, or you really feel this knee is kind of coming away from the ground, think about where you're holding tension, and the exhale, relax those positions. Breathe in again, big exhale. Excellent. So after those, we're on all 4s again, trying to keep a neutral spine, so I don't want to see anything sagging or rounding too much, just holding a nice neutral position. And in that position, we're going to try kick one heel as high as we can without arching our backs. Okay, so engage your core with an exhale, pull the core in, kick that heel high, really try and use the glute to fire that heel up. So squeeze your glute, keep your ribs in, and then when you come back down, try and maintain all that position, and we're going to swap from there. We're going to drive that heel up, squeezing the glute, trying to keep that pelvis from rolling forward, keep the back nice and long, driving that heel up, squeeze the glute to get you there. Okay, we're going to go for 8 of those, 4 each side, heel towards the ceiling, pushing away from the floor, driving that heel up, keeping those ribs pulled in, coming back down, swapping sides. Squeeze the glute to get that heel up, coming back down, nice and controlled, always trying to maintain that pelvic position. Drive that heel up, use the glute to get it up there. Back down. 2 more after this one. Fix your position. If you're at the top, you're getting tired now like I am. When you get up here and you start to arch, fix the position with a long core, squeeze the core, and use your glute to get that heel up. 1 more on this left side. Drive the heel up. Big exhales. Good work. Dun, dun, dun. For this one now, what you're going to do is you're going to come further up your mat and you're going to kneel with 1 knee off it and 1 knee still on it. The knee you've brought off it, you're going to reach across to the opposite corner of the mat. And I want you to sit back and tip that knee off the ground and then come back forward again. Okay? So I'm holding my knee across my body, reaching with my toe, sitting back onto that foot or into my right hip, tipping my knee off the ground, coming forward again out of that, reach, sit, tip, come forward. You're going for 6 on each side here, reaching, sitting, tipping. Last one. Use my foot for support, sit into my hip and bring my chest across my leg to get a lovely stretch all through the glute. So remember what we're doing is we're going to walk one knee and hand off of the mat. We're going to reach the leg that's off of the mat across to the other corner of the mat. And from that position, we're going to sit back, drop the knee, get a lovely stretch in the glute, and come back up. You can let your foot relax down like that by pointing your toes. Come back down, stretching the glute, tip the knee, come back up, pushing that left leg here, my knee into the mat as I come back up. Sit back down, come back up. Sit back down. You can drop as deep into it as you want, down onto your elbows, getting your chest towards your knee if you can get that stretch, and come back out of it. Sit back in, try get nice and deep, my chest to my knee, keeping the stretch in my glute, in and out of that 6 times. Sweating. Last exercise after that, guys. You're going to go up onto one knee. Make sure that this hip is directly above your knee. So your knee is right under the hip. This leg is in a straight position. I'm not too far forward like this. And it's very rare people be back like that. But you want to make sure you're in this position, nice and tall. Hips are tucked under. You get a bit of a stretch on this hip. You're going to reach the same side hand up and over to the side overhead. And then pull yourself back to an upright position. So one hand here for support, hand reaching as high as you can. As I move over, my hip is going this way. And I'm reaching over the opposite way, getting a lovely stretch all the way down my side into my hip. And I'm moving my hip to get me back in. So I'm pushing or pulling myself back in with that hip. From the side, hands are reaching up as high as we can. I reach over and this hip goes that way. Loads of length down through the side, pull it back in. Reach and pull back in. Swapping sides. One leg in front of the other. Again, my knee is directly under my hip. My hips are slightly tucked. You might feel a really big stretch in the front of your hip. That's okay. Reach up as high as you can. Hand on this hip might help you because I'm going to push my hips out this way and reach my hand over this way, pull myself back. Push my hips out this way, reach my hand over this way, and pull myself back. I'm going for 6 of those. 4, push and reach as tall as I can, and I stay tall when I come back. Don't just sag into it coming back. We really want to keep length in this outside hip. Reach and pull back. If you want to make this a bit harder, you can get your foot outside your hip. Reach up, push, big stretch all through the front of the hip and the side of the hip when you reach over, and pull yourself back. A couple more. Reach, pull yourself back, reach, and pull yourself back.